Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas, and today I have with me Tyler Jensen, president of Top Performance Group. Tyler, thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
Yes. Tony, thank you so much for having me on the show. It is so good. Super excited to be here.
Awesome. My pleasure. And we are recording on January 9th, 2025, as LA is on fire with some of the worst wildfire ever in the history of California. You're out west, so hopefully uh, Utah has not been affected thus far.
Utah, we do not have, yeah, we're pretty good right now.
Okay, good,
So
good. So we always give the elevator pitch. We always give the guest the chance to give the elevator pitch. What is Top Performance Group?
so Top Performance Group is a personal development platform that helps business owners overcome fear, complacency, that feeling of being overwhelmed, and ultimately burnout, helping you achieve top performance. We walk you through our four pillars of top performance to create more joy, optimism, and satisfaction in your life and business.
Okay, create more satisfaction in your life and business. Perfect. And nowadays, you coach business owners in a bunch of different industries, but you came from insurance, right?
I did, yes. So that is essentially that was our first course, and a majority of my one-on-one coaching clients are insurance agents. So that was my background for almost the last decade was the insurance industry and helping and training insurance agents. Um, Consulted nearly 200 agents over the last several years before opening this company.
Okay. And originally you grew up from basically being a marketing rep, right? Like working for a carrier.
Yes, so I was an agent for a carrier company, so I was a captive agent. So a little different from your non-captive agents, but overall learns a lot about that world. So I am a CPRM, a CIC, so got a lot of exposure and was able to work with other independent agents as well during that time.
Okay. Okay. So why did you end up going on your own and opening the consulting firm?
Great question, Tony. So I would say that stems back to my childhood, honestly. And really, the way my parents raised me is I've always loved training and educating people. My parents are both in education, and so that was just kind of an aspect that I always grasped onto is just sharing knowledge, seeing it bless somebody, and that just brought me so much joy. So prior to opening in an agency, I was a corporate trainer for a university. I did IT and kind of software training, so Microsoft, Adobe, all of those, and I would train. We'd outsource to other companies. We'd train internally, and I loved that aspect. Um, Getting into insurance, the way I ran my agency was all educationally driven. That was kind of my background is how do we educate clients? How do we sell on value? How do we sell on, coverages and education and trust? Kind of moving out of that price-based sales world the insurance industry is just naturally in. And I saw a lot of success from that. And so from there, I was recruited to to move out of the owning the agency and going back into training and consulting newer agents and building their books. And so I did that for several years. Like I said, helped train and consult over 200 agents over those years, build up their books. And I had so much joy in that. And I said, Tony, there's more. There's more I can do. There's more people I want to help, and so that's when we kind of took that leap, and I took out took all my original frameworks and concepts, and we built this coaching platform.
Okay, so what does it look like when a new agent reaches out for help? What does the process look like?
So our process, that's our kind of uniqueness, is we call it the four pillars of top performance. And so that's kind of our proprietary roadmap to help individuals get unstuck, right? We've kind of discovered there's three complacency models. So it's three different avenues individuals become complacent within their business. And the first is called complacently busy. And it's that feeling of just being pulled in all directions, almost overwhelmed and burdensome because there's a lot that happens running an insurance agency. And that busyness, oftentimes it affects a lot of owners. And so that's where kind of our first two pillars of top performance come into play, because when you're so busy and you're running by chaos, things are going to work, things don't work. And when they don't work, we become negative and fearful. When they do work, we see it as a little temporary success. Hoorah, perfect. But then at the end of the day, the business didn't progress because we're just so busy every single day. So the first thing we shift is mindset. So the first pillar, Tony, is optimism. How do we implement a change in the mindset? And one thing people learn about me is I'm a huge nerd. Probably stems from education. But I love what's called etymology, which is the study of words. And so optimism actually means best. The Latin word means best. It doesn't mean positive, it doesn't mean happy, it means best. So when we shift mindset to what is best, how can I serve my clients the best? How can I become the best version of myself? How can I write the best coverages? When I have a setback, how do I respond the best way? How can I instill the best systems into the business? And that's where we start creating that first initial shift to move out of busyness, which is the second pillar of systems. You establish systems to get out of that feeling of chaos.
Okay, so the second pillar is establish systems.
Systems, yep. And so that's what we then help the business do is we take and build out systems. So from sales to referrals to managing employees to creating processes, all of those systems we help create to move you out of that feeling of busy, right? Because when you have consistent systems, you get consistent results. And by doing that, you start to see more successes all throughout the day.
Okay. Um, what what are the agents that the agency types that tend to thrive with you? Or are we talking the 2 to 5 employee, one producer, or are we talking like family owned agencies? What do they generally have in common?
So majority of them are a little bit smaller agencies, I would say. The agency that we have as clients that has the most employees, they have 12 employees. But a majority are within that range, right? Those 2, 3 to 5 employees. And they're trying to differentiate themselves. So it's not fully on price based, but it's retention based. It's client relationship based. It's essentially it's moving out of that hurriedness of selling insurance like clockwork to more how do we develop a relationship with the client, right? How do we move our attention up into the high 80s and 90s, right? And creating those lasting relationships with clients. And you do that oftentimes through culture, through experiences, through creating memorable moments for those clients. Um, so that's kind of those are what our clients kind of have in common. It's those agencies that say, hey, I want to position myself a little bit differently. I want to position myself as a risk manager, somebody that's going to give a holistic view to the clients, and they're going to have a relationship with our employees and a relationship with us.
Okay. Um, what kind of results are the clients seeing?
Yeah. So one of our clients, I literally just got a text from him this morning, but he's been with us a month and a half. And in that month and a half, we've increased his revenue by over $100,000.
Fantastic.
Um, so he went from on his life insurance sales, he went from 4,000 a year selling. That was it in premium because he's mainly home and auto to putting in 35,000 in life insurance in that 1 month. And then in the amount of changes in like new production, his commission grid, we bumped him up from 6% up to 11%. And so even just with those changes that we helped him make in that first month on his book, he received essentially 5% more on all of his renewals for this next year. So pretty incredible in that regard. Some of our other clients that have been with us, we've been able to move them up um, kind of over time where they're in the high 90s. So one of our clients has a 98% retention on his book, and his book size is roughly around 5 million. So it's not like huge in comparison, but 95% retention or 98% retention on that book with those client relationships, his costs are a lot lower, his marketing spend is a lot lower. Um, so overall, profitability wise, his business is doing really well.
Fantastic. What kind of commitment? So like, can I sign up for just for a month, or is there like a 6 month commitment or a year commitment? What does that
Yeah,
look
good
like?
question. So with our program, we do it for a year. So we do the year commitment, and we do that for a specific reason. And so when you onboard with us, we actually walk you through that timeline and in regards of what that next year is going to look like moving forward behind the time frame of learning the content, refining sales, refining objection handling, implementing those systems, and then building out the blueprint of the business. Where do you want it to be in 5 years? How do we create that? What new positions do we need to look for? Do we have processes and procedures and systems in place for our employees to be successful? And then as you build those out, now you're about 3, 4 months in to actually create all those systems so employees can be more profitable. And then you start looking at hiring and expanding at that point. So that's kind of that next stage that we help you walk through is hiring, expanding, realigning employees. And then usually around 8 or 9 months, the agents have progressed from being self-employed to being a business owner, right? They have new alignments. They're managing managers instead of managing all their employees, right? There's more structure, there's more alignment, and there's more autonomy. So now they're
Okay.
running a business system compared to that self-sustaining. And then over those kind of next 3 months, we always meet with our clients and we evaluate, their progression. That's in our group coaching. Our one-on-one clients, of course, we're meeting with regularly throughout it, but we always assess what's the next step, right? Is it with us? Is it another company I can point you to? Is it continuing with our coaching? Is it continuing with this agency? Or I see, okay, this is an area I feel like your business would really thrive at. And so I have a lot of kind of, I would say like joint partners and referral individuals that I can refer out to and be like, hey, this is a client that needs your specialty. And so we always assess at the end of the year and say what's best for the business. And help grow you from there.
Can you also train new producers to sell?
We do, yep. So part of our program is you have 10 employee logins and it's a 4 week onboarding. And so that's wonderful, especially as you're expanding, is to utilize that 4 week onboarding for new producers because they're going to learn all the ins and outs of insurance, how to articulate value in all the coverages, increasing their knowledge and their power, and then teaching them how to teach that to clients, right? Because if you teach at your max, there's no power. If you teach above what you know, that's errors and emissions. But if you teach too low, right, then the client doesn't give any value. So helping sales reps or helping sales or service individuals be able to teach just above a client's knowledge level. So they find value, they find that education, but they can perceive your level of knowledge still. And that comes into the power of your delivery. So they're going to learn all those aspects behind insurance. They're going to learn sales processes. They're going to learn servicing. They're going to learn objection handling all within that first 4 weeks onboarding.
Okay, are you working agencies mostly mountain states and West Coast, or are you working anywhere in the US?
So we serve anywhere in the US. So our client base currently, we have central United States, Western states. If you're on the East Coast, happy to work out there too. But currently, that's kind of where our market is Midwestern and Central states. So currently,
Okay. Um, what do you expect to add to the service this year and next? And anything new that you're excited about?
so we do have some new things. So one thing that we just launched for our clients, the first one we actually do in November, but we added accelerator events. And so those are events that we do throughout the year, which are full day events that a client can attend and just get a full day. We keep them small, so just a full day of just in-depth knowledge application, get stuff done all in one day type acceleration. So that's been really cool to see with our first event that we did, and we have our next one this month coming up in on the 16th. So those are one thing that we just added that we're super excited about.
Oh, awesome, 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 awesome. So when this goes live, I will tag both you and the company on LinkedIn. And easiest way to learn more, insurerriskuniversity.com.
So easiest way would be the topperformancegroup.com.
The topperformancegroup.com. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for your time today.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Tony.
Awesome. Have a great one.
You as well.